Hey folks, Mr. Dell here. We are looking at a problem that has to do with simplifying and translating algebra tiles, specifically an equation mat, and talking about how to solve this equation based on what was given. So this is an actual problem from CPM, and this is course 3, CC3, section 1.1. Excuse me, 2.1.8 and number 2-76 is what I'm looking at. It says translate the equation mat at the right into an equation. Remember that the double number line represents an equal. So really all they're asking us to do is just translate this into an actual equation, but I'm going to also take it the next step and solve it as well. So to give you a little bit of extra there. So what we're looking at is, remember that double line this way is the equal sign. So I'm going to have an expression, a big expression over here and a big expression over here separated by equal sign. So let's start with the left, right? So this is the left side of the equal sign, and this is the right side of the equal sign. So on the left side, I have positive 2 and a negative x. So we'll go negative 2x. So negative 2 plus 2 is what I see on top. And then remember, it's minus all of that in there. All of that in there is the negative x, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4. Okay, so that is on the left side of the equation. On the right side, remember now we separate it with an equal sign. On the right side, what I have on top is a 1, 2, 3, negative 3 plus positive 2. Then again, minus, in parentheses, minus all of this, which is a positive x, and then it's a minus 2 or plus a negative 2. So here's that long equation that's represented. So I think that's really what they wanted, but let's go ahead one more step and solve it, right? I'm going to show you how to solve it using tiles as well as using the algebra. So one of the things that we would do is try to just simplify this, which means get all of this up to the top first. Take all of that, bring it to the top. That's getting rid of those parentheses. All right, so I'm going to, before we actually, and I'll put my little line, I like to put my equation line to show I have two sides of my equation. So I'm going to take, remember each of these, if I take all that whole group and I move it to the top, move it to the positive zone, because I want to be able to combine like terms. In order to combine like terms, you get everything up down there and you bring it up. Well, to do that, you have to flip it, right? All of those tiles flip over. So what we had is a negative x, right? Now becomes a positive x. And you can see that with this minus a negative. Minus a negative makes it plus a positive, right? Minus a negative, double negative, makes it plus a positive. So let me rewrite this. Negative 2x plus 2 plus x, and then minus plus 4, right? That minus distributes. If you notice that each of these positive tiles will move up, and they'll all become negative tiles. And I'll just put them over there like that. So negative tiles not shaded in. So that moves up. And like I said, I ended up with a positive x up at top too. So a positive x, which is a unshaded or a shaded x. So all of that moved to the top, and this is what it now looks like algebraically. Okay, and then we can take and simplify it, which I can combine like terms, right? Which is what? A positive and a negative x. A positive and negative x would cancel out, right? Here you have a positive 1x and a negative 2x, and what's left is just a negative x. And then your ones, you have 4 negatives and 2 positives. So a pair of those cancel out. 2 minus 4 is negative 2 or minus 2. So I have that simplified now on this side. On this side, I do the same thing. All of this moves to the top. That's get rid of those parentheses so I can combine like terms. So I'm just going to rewrite negative 3 plus 2. And then what happens? That positive x on the bottom minus all of that, it moves to the top and becomes a negative x on top. And then this minus a minus, right? You have minus the x. So I'll put that. It becomes minus x because it now is a negative x on top. And then the minus, those two ones move to the top and actually shade in. And so they become plus 2. So when you move them to the top, they flip. And that's getting rid of the parentheses there in the equation. Now I can combine like terms. If I look at my x's, all I have up here is just one negative x. So I'll just say negative x. And then what's left is I have my singles here. I have -3, +2, +2. So that gives me +1. Okay. So interesting at this point now is you have a -x and a -x on both sides. And that's what we've got on both sides. So there is no solution because what we end up with is a -x-2 over here and a -x +2 +1. So there's no number that would work for this equation. So really the answer they wanted for the homework was just writing the equation. I was going a little extra to kind of show you how to simplify and get this down to where possibly we could solve for x, but we really can't because there's no number that would make this equation true. So there is no solution for this equation. Okay, there you go.